Hello, unshakable mind. Today, we're not going to talk about what you should do. We're going to talk about the frustration you feel when you've already done everything, and nothing seems to work. That feeling of frustration, an emptiness in your chest after intimacy. You try hard, you listen, read articles, try to do everything right in bed, but the connection is superficial. You get compliance, but not the raw, wild desire that you know exists somewhere. It's a silent intimacy where bodies touch but souls remain miles apart. You follow the script given to you by society, a script of generosity and communication. But the applause you receive at the end of the play sounds empty, forced. It's as if you're acting in a play. And the worst part is, so is she. She plays the role of the satisfied woman to protect your ego, and you play the role of the confident lover to hide your own insecurity. A dance of masks where no one truly surrenders. What if I told you that the cause of this disconnection isn't your lack of effort, but precisely the excess of it in the wrong direction? What if the words you use as a map, what she says she wants, are the biggest obstacle to what her body truly craves? What if the compass you've been using to navigate this territory has been pointing to the wrong pole all along? In this video, we're going to burn the socially accepted instruction manual. We're going to tear up the false map they gave you. In the next few minutes, I will give you the first key to stop interacting with her social mask and start communicating directly with the raw biology that governs female desire. And the first key is this. It's a mindset shift that you will apply today. I call it the dichotomy of truth. It's simple. From this exact moment, you will stop listening to her words as the absolute truth and become an observer of nonverbal truth, a detective of biology, a reader of the language that never lies, the language of the body. In any intimate interaction, from today on, ask yourself in silence, does her body confirm what her mouth says? She says, yes, continue, but is her breathing deep and relaxed or short and anxious? Have her pupils dilated or do they remain the same? Has her body tensed up in anticipation or subtly recoiled, a millimeter of movement that reveals universes of information? She says, it's great, but are the muscles in her neck tense? Is her hand flat on your back, pulling you closer? Or are her fingers just touching your skin, lifeless? Her body never lies. Her autonomic nervous system doesn't know how to lie. Her biological response is the truth. This is the only compass you need to navigate the territory of genuine desire. Start trusting it, not the convenient words that are spoken to maintain the social peace of the relationship. This is the first step to leaving the theater and entering the real world. And this shift in focus from words to biology is not a seduction trick. It is a lens to see reality as it is. It's about embracing the brutal honesty of nature instead of the polished comfort of social fiction. It is based on two of the most solid pillars for understanding the human condition. The first pillar is evolutionary psychology. Think of it as the archaeology of the mind. It reveals the ancestral software that operates beneath her consciousness, a software written in the code of survival and replication over millions of years. This software doesn't care about social norms, about what is nice to say, or about your ego. It was designed to respond to very specific stimuli of strength, health, status, and novelty. Understanding this software is not about judging it. It's like reading the instruction manual for the hardware you have in your hands. The second pillar is stoicism. If evolutionary psychology is the manual, stoicism is your mental armor, your armored mind. It gives you the strength to accept biological truth without feeling personally attacked, inadequate, or insecure. The Stoic doesn't get frustrated with the nature of fire because it burns. He learns to build tools with it and to warm himself by it. You will stop being frustrated with the nature of female desire and start understanding its rules to create a stronger flame. Stoicism teaches you to focus on what you can control, your actions, your mindset, your self-development, and to accept with serenity what you cannot, her biological programming. With these two tools, you cease to be an actor trying to guess the lines and become the director of the scene. because you understand the fundamental motivation of the characters. Now, let's use these lenses to deconstruct the 5 biggest lies that society has sold you about her desire. Prepare yourself, as some of these truths may shake the foundations of what you believe you know about relationships. The first, and perhaps most dangerous lie, is the romantic belief that passion, in a long-term relationship, is like a fire that once lit keeps burning on its own. It's the idea that commitment and love are enough to sustain sexual desire indefinitely. The truth, the brutal biological truth, is that passion does not die of natural causes. It is murdered, and the murder weapon is almost always the same: predictability. Routine is the poison that kills it slowly, night after night. Evolutionary psychology calls this the Coolidge effect. The story, perhaps apocryphal, tells that the American president Calvin Coolidge and his wife visited a farm. The First Lady noticed a rooster mating vigorously and asked the farmer how often he did that. "Dozens of times a day," the farmer replied. "Tell that to Mr. President," she said. When the president heard, he asked, "Always with the same hen?" "No," said the farmer, "a different hen each time." The president then said, "Tell that to Mrs. Coolidge." This anecdote illustrates a fundamental biological principle. Male and female attraction responds powerfully to novelty. Our brain is programmed to notice what is new and different. It's a survival mechanism, and this applies directly to desire. Her ancestral software, programmed to seek genetic diversity and the best possible partner, gets accustomed to what is constant and predictable. Neuroscience explains this through the dopamine system. Dopamine is not the neurotransmitter of pleasure, but of anticipation and seeking. When something is new and exciting, your brain releases dopamine. When it becomes routine, the dopamine release decreases drastically. When you become 100% predictable, sex is always on Friday night after the same TV show, starting with the same touches, in the same positions with the same words. You become invisible to her biology. Her conscious mind may love you, may respect you as a partner and the father of her children, but her body enters a state of dormancy. The visceral desire, the one that sends a shiver down the spine, fades away. The practical application, the key word is destabilization. You need to become a source of benign uncertainty. Stop taking attraction for granted. Treat it like a garden that needs to be watered with novelty. Break the patterns of place and time. Instead of waiting for the bedroom at night, initiate a moment of intimacy in the kitchen in the morning. Pull her in for a slow dance in the living room with no music. Surprise breaks habituation. Create mystery and distance. Don't be 100% available all the time. Have your own hobbies, your own passions. A life mission that absorbs you. When you have your own center of gravity, she feels drawn into your orbit. Occasional distance creates space for longing and desire to grow. Be the leader of the adventure. Plan dates and experiences that take you both out of your comfort zone. An unplanned weekend trip, a class in something you've never done. You become associated with excitement and adventure, not the monotony of the couch. Uncertainty is the oxygen of desire. Without it, the flame inevitably dies out. But there's no point in creating novelty if your main objective in bed is actually sabotaging the whole process. And this leads us to the second, and perhaps most destructive lie. Society, porn, and even women's magazines have taught you that your main mission as a man in bed is to give her an orgasm. And you, the striving man, have internalized this. Her orgasm has become proof of your worth, the validation of your ego. Every sexual interaction becomes a test, and her climax is the final grade that tells you if you passed or failed. The lie is that this hunt for the orgasm creates pleasure. The truth is that it creates pressure. An overwhelming pressure, for you and especially for her. When your focus is on extracting a reaction from her to validate yourself, intimacy dies and the performance begins. You are no longer present with her. You are in your own head, anxiously monitoring for signs, asking, "What now? Is it working?" She feels your neediness. She feels the pressure to perform pleasure. to moan at the right time, to arch her back like the actresses you've seen, and finally, to have the orgasm that will allow you to relax and feel validated. Intimacy becomes a job. The biological truth about female pleasure is that it flourishes in the absence of pressure. The female orgasm is deeply linked to the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. It is a state of relaxation and surrender. Your performance anxiety activates her sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight system. They are opposing systems. It is physiologically impossible for her to surrender to pleasure while her mind is busy managing your insecurities. The practical application. You need to make a radical change in your objective. Abandon the hunt. Declare the orgasm hunting season over. Adopt the pleasure framework. Your new goal is not to give her an orgasm. Your new goal is to create an environment of pleasure so intense, so present, and so free of expectations that the orgasm becomes a natural and welcome consequence, but not a mandatory one. The goal is the process, not the result. Communicate the change. Tell her outside the bedroom, in a neutral moment. I've realized that sometimes I put a lot of pressure on us with the expectation of an orgasm. From now on, my only goal is to explore pleasure with you without any goal. If it happens, great. If not, the time we spend connected is what matters. This alone removes a gigantic weight from her shoulders. Focus on the senses, not the destination. Instead of thinking, what do I do now to get her to the next level? Think, what is she feeling right now? Focus on her breathing, the texture of her skin, the sounds she makes, the tension in her muscles. Be present. The presence of a calm and confident man who needs nothing from her is one of the greatest aphrodisiacs that exist. Free her from the responsibility of validating you, and you will free her to feel real pleasure. Many men upon hearing this think, but I learned technique X and Y on adult sites, and that's where the third lie reveals itself in all its toxicity. The most insidious lie of our generation is that porn is a form of sex education, that by watching those grotesque performances you are learning what women really want. It's like trying to learn gastronomy by eating fast food every day. The truth is that porn is not a training ground. It's a desensitization camp. It's a poison for your mind, which acts on multiple fronts. First, it operates as a supernormal stimulus. The concept, from mythology, describes how an artificially exaggerated stimulus can evoke a stronger response than the natural stimulus. Porn presents a version of sexuality so exaggerated, fast and intense that your brain recalibrates. The beauty, subtlety, and rhythm of a real woman begin to seem boring. This is why many men addicted to porn develop erectile dysfunction with real partners. Their brains have been trained to respond only to the grotesque and unreal stimulus. Second, it teaches you a false script. The sexuality staged in porn is a performance for the camera, not an expression of genuine desire. The reactions are exaggerated for the microphone. The acts are acrobatic and focused on visual appeal for the viewer, and the emotional connection is completely absent. It's a puppet theater, and you are learning the wrong moves for the real dance. Third, and most importantly, it destroys your ability to use the compass of truth we talked about at the beginning. Porn is loud. Real intimacy is subtle. It teaches you to ignore the delicate and real signs of her body, the change in her breathing, the contraction of a muscle, in favor of a loud and false script of screams and spasms. You become illiterate in the body language of desire. The practical application. Face porn for what it is, a fiction that addicts and distorts your perception of reality. It is not a harmless pleasure. It is an active obstacle to your ability to have a satisfying sex life. Initiate a dopamine fast. Commit to a period of total abstinence. 30, 60, 90 days. Allow your brain to resensitize to reality. It will be difficult at first, but the clarity and sensitivity you will gain on the other side are transformative. Replace the stimulus. When you feel the urge, instead of giving in, redirect that energy. Exercise, read a book, work on your personal project. Train your mind to Seek real, long-term rewards, not cheap and destructive dopamine spikes. Relearn to fantasize. Reclaim your own imagination. Porn outsources your fantasy. By abstaining, you force your mind to relearn how to create its own images, connected to your real experiences and authentic desires. This connects us directly to the fourth lie, which is a direct consequence of trying to apply the pornographic script in real life. You learned that being generous is the key. And often, this generosity manifests in performative acts that you believe she desires, such as prolonged and aggressive oral sex, a pillar of the pornographic industry. The lie is that, if she doesn't complain, if she says it's good, it's because she's enjoying it. The brutal truth is that many women will endure discomfort, monotony, and even pain in silence for one single reason: the fear of hurting your fragile male ego. Her social mask comes into full force in this scenario. Her mind calculates, he's trying so hard, he thinks he's doing something amazing for me. If I say it's not good, that it hurts, or that I'm bored, his ego will be crushed. He'll feel inadequate, maybe get angry or frustrated. It's emotionally safer for me to just endure it, fake it a little, and wait for it to be over soon. And so you continue performing an act that you believe is the pinnacle of generosity, when in reality, it may be ineffective or even unpleasant. And the worst part, her silence and positive verbal feedback reinforce your mistaken behavior. You receive a false positive that keeps you on the wrong path, digging an ever-widening gap between what you think is happening and what she is really feeling. You are being trained by her false feedback. The practical application. The solution is to create an environment of absolute emotional safety and become a master of your compass. Give her explicit permission. Outside the bedroom, say, "The most exciting thing for me is your genuine pleasure, and I can only find out what gives you pleasure if you are 100% honest with me. Please give me the gift of your truth. If something isn't good, or if you want something else, guide me. Your honesty won't hurt my ego, it will excite me." You need to say this, and, more importantly, you need to show that it's true by not reacting negatively when she does it. Use the compass actively. Stop focusing on your performance and focus on the data her body is giving you. Is her jaw locked in pleasure or tension? Is her body moving closer, surrendering to your touch? Or is it subtly pulling away? Is she breathing deeply in surrender, or holding her breath in resignation? Are the sounds she makes sounds of visceral pleasure, or are they performative, almost theatrical sounds? Ask open-ended questions, not yes-no questions. Instead of, "Do you like it?" which invites a socially polite yes. Try, "What are you feeling right now?" This invites her to describe the sensation, giving you much richer information. Learn to read the difference between a verbal yes to protect your ego and a corporal yes, which is the total and unmistakable surrender of her body to the pleasure you are orchestrating. Finally, all of this leads us to the fundamental lie, the foundation upon which all the others are built, the greatest illusion of the striving man. The cornerstone of his frustration is to believe that female attraction is a logical and contractual process, that if he fills out a checklist, be a good man, be faithful, be a good provider, be caring, remember important dates, her attraction and desire will be the guaranteed and constant reward, like a salary at the end of the month. The biological truth is that attraction is not a conscious act of will. It is not a decision she makes. It is a primary, visceral response that often operates in direct opposition to her logic. Her mind may know that you are a good catch, a safe and reliable partner, but her body, her limbic system, her reptilian brain, responds to a completely different set of rules written by evolution. This is where the concept of biological hypergamy comes in, not the simplistic social version of seeking a richer man, but the ancestral, much deeper version. Her software is constantly and subconsciously scanning the environment for markers of high survival and replication value. This doesn't make her evil or unfaithful. It makes her human. It means that her attraction to you is not fixed. It fluctuates. It's a thermometer, not a rock. And what does this thermometer measure? It measures your value. She feels more attracted when you demonstrate strength, not just physical but emotional and of character, leadership, competence, ambition, and a life purpose that is greater than the relationship itself. She feels less attracted when you demonstrate weakness, neediness, indecisiveness, and crucially, when you make her the absolute center of your universe. A woman cannot desire a man she does not respect, and she cannot respect a man who acts like a satellite orbiting around her. She may consciously desire the nice and safe guy, but her body responds to the man who represents strength and adventure. The paradox is that to be the safe partner her mind wants, you must first be the strong leader her body desires. The practical application. The solution is a reversal of priorities. Stop focusing on making her happy and start focusing on becoming a high-value man who, as a natural byproduct of his existence, creates an environment where she can be happy. Find your mission. What is your purpose beyond her? Your career, your business, your art, your impact on the community. A man with a mission is magnetically attractive. He has a direction. The relationship is an incredible ship on which he travels, but it is not the final destination. Practice decisive leadership. Lead. Decide where to go for dinner. Plan the trip. Take the initiative in intimacy. Indecisiveness is the repellent of attraction. Even if she disagrees with your decision, she will respect your ability to make one. Incorporate stoicism. Be the emotional rock. When she is in an emotional storm, do not join her in the storm. Be the lighthouse, calm and unshakable. Your stability is a safe harbor for feminine energy, which is naturally more fluid and chaotic. Her attraction will no longer be something you need to ask for or negotiate. It will be an inevitable response to who you have become. The journey from the pleaser actor, lost in the theater of social lies, to the sovereign king who navigates with the compass of biological reality is not easy. It requires the courage to abandon the ego, the courage to accept that you were playing the wrong game with the wrong rules. It requires the humility to become a student again, a student of human nature. But the reward is freedom. The freedom to stop performing and start being authentic. The freedom to connect with her truth, not her mask. When you no longer need her validation to feel like a man, something magical happens. The pressure disappears, and in the vacuum of that pressure, genuine desire, respect, and admiration have space to be born and to flourish. You stop being a beggar of desire and become the source of the energy she seeks. Remember the central message of today. True intimacy is not born from a comfortable lie, but from the courage to face biological truth. By abandoning the need for her to satisfy your ego, you finally free her to truly desire you. If you are ready to stop playing the fantasy game and become a master of the real game, demonstrate your commitment to the truth. Like this video so that it reaches other men who are still navigating blindly. Comment below which of the 5 lies most impacted your perception. Your story matters and inspires other men on the same journey. And, most importantly, subscribe to the Armored Mind channel to continue building a mind that is not shaken by reality, but uses it as a foundation to become stronger. Until next time, stay strong.